Good morning, everybody. It's Kristen again from That Blooming Garden. I just thought I'd go through what I'm going to be growing this year. I've got a few seeds that have arrived in the mail, so I thought I'd let you know about that. So let's just get into the seeds. I'm a bit of a seedaholic, and as you know, I have large stash of seeds. Seeds that I've bought previous years, seeds that I've saved. I just can't seem to help myself. Those seed catalogs come out and then it's like, oh, what's new and what do I want to grow this year, right? So anyway, the first company I got seeds from was through William Dam Seeds. And what I noticed about there is the prices were really good. They have a huge selection. They come from back east, so, but I'm sure the seeds are fine. So I thought I'd just talk about some of the, I've grown a few new flowers this year. I know I grew a huge cut flower garden last year, and I am growing vegetables this year. But somehow I'm going to have to find room for those cut flowers. So we'll see what happens and when spring finally arrives, right? There is signs of springs in the garden, but it's not quite there yet. It's way too wet out to do any gardening yet. So I've been busy in the greenhouse planting seeds and thinking about getting early crops in for the garden, like lettuce and peas and spinach, things like that. And kale, that's another one you could grow. So, but anyway, let's get started looking at these seeds. Now, these are from William Dam. So there's an amaranthus. So amaranthus is an annual flower, and what I love about that is it dries really nicely. And last year I grew Love Life's Bleeding, which is the rose-colored form. It has like almost like a dreadlocks type flower. They get to be like 2 feet long, the flowers, and you can use them in bouquets. They dry nicely. I have tons of seed of the red one. So if you ever want seed from me, you can just ask me. But this one's called Hot Biscuits, and you can see it's a golden color, so that's something new, and it's a little bit more upright growing. So hopefully I'll have this for fall bouquets this year. And I'm just sort of, my motto this year is like, grow what you love, right? And do what you love. So I'm gonna have fun in the garden this year. There's no wedding pressure this year. So anyway, on to the next package of seeds. I also found another type of eucalyptus that I will try to grow. No promises on how it grew. I grew the wrong kind last year, so it was kind of a disappointment. So I am going to grow eucalyptus and give it another try. So it's something I'm going to have to probably plant towards the end of this month. I'll probably start this for the garden. And I'm not sure if this one's going to be like an annual thing or how hardy it's going to be here. So I'll have to do a bit more research, and we'll keep you posted as it grows. But eucalyptus is such high demand for weddings that I'd love to have a constant supply that I could help people out with. And then I'm growing something new here. Now, this is something else that a lot of flower grows, Blue Plurum. I've never heard of this, and I hope I pronounced that right. Blue Plurum, yeah. So it's got these green flowers on it, and it's used as a filler flower in bouquets. So something brand new. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to put a lot more containers out there or find some more room to grow flowers, right? So you'd think with half an acre I would never have enough garden, but unfortunately a lot of our garden is in shade, not sun. So that's my problem, is not having enough sun. So we'll see what I can do under the rose arbor now that the roses are gone. The next one I want to grow is, if you've not grown Selpa glossus, it's a lovely annual, but what I love is the intricate markings on the flowers. You don't see it used very often, and I'm really kind of trending back to some of the older flowers that I used to grow. But Selpa glossus comes in mixed colors, and it's I think it's called painted tongue as well. So look it up. It's easy to grow from seed, and it makes a really nice annual. And you can grow in containers or in the ground. I'll probably pop this into a container. It depends on what colors. It'll be a surprise to see what colors come up. So I'll probably wait until it flowers before I do plant it, so I get the combinations right. Another one I'm going to grow, and I've never tried this either. Now, my neighbor always wants to grow straw flowers, but she doesn't get the pink color. So I saw this one, it's called Helipterum. So called it paper daisy. So it dries very similarly to straw flowers do. And so it being an everlasting flower, I can use that over the winter in crafts or making bouquets, things like that. So I'm trying to think of plants that have more than one use when I'm planting the garden. And yes, it's annual, but if I can dry it and use it in the winter, and I can have permanent bouquets in the house if I wanted to, right? Using this. So there'll be lots of uses for it. We'll figure something out, whether we do, some flower pressing or just drying. There's always something you can do with them for flowers. And another thing I'm going to try growing is cumin. Now, I've never tried this. I have no idea when I should start it yet. I haven't looked at all my seed packages yet. But cumin's one of those spices that, it gives that heat to your dishes, if you do like to cook. So I thought I'd try it out and see if I can grow my own spices. I grow a lot of herbs, but I have not grown this one before, so it's all new to me as well. So I'll have to stay along for the ride to see how that one goes. And of course, you know what? I have just gotten hooked on butternut squash. I love butternut squash, and I do have the room for it. So I'm going to grow just a couple of plants because it can be quite productive. But boy, there's nothing better than serving this with a dinner. And it's got high carbs, so I'm going to have to watch how much I eat because we're on a low carb diet. We're doing that keto thing, so we're not going to do that. Anyway, that's what I got from William Dam. The next company I did with was Richter's. So if you've not ever got a Richter's herb catalog, you really, really need to do that. There's so many seeds that they offer, and it's not just herbs. They also have vegetables as well, and they have flowers. So I've actually, I know my followers are going to be really happy when I tell them I ordered some new tomato seeds. I have a yellow currant tomato this year that I'm going to try out. I also have Tumbling Tom, which usually with these Tumbling Tom seeds, you don't get very many seeds, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be offering this as plants this year, but I'll be testing it out in a hanging basket this year and see how it does. I'm also doing something different. Now this is called culantro. So we're all familiar with cilantro, but cilantro tends to bolt really quickly when in May. So it's really something you want to plant. If you can get your cilantro in the garden in April, you're going to have a great crop. But once May comes and we get a hot spell, then it tends to go to flower and go to seed. So it's also good to plant in cilantro in the fall as well, so you have another crop. But culantro, or Mexican coriander, tends to not bolt as fast. So I'm going to try that as a different plant. And you'll be able to see this at my plant sale. I'll grow a bunch of it and we can try it out over this year and see what it's like. Same flavor, just doesn't bolt as fast. And let's see, what's this one? Oh, and I've got some Bishop's Crown. I'm going to try and grow a few hot peppers. So I'm new at that because I've grown jalapenos, which are easy to grow jalapenos, and I've grown sweet peppers, but I haven't grown the really hot ones because I've been impressed by a lot of my friends who have actually been making hot sauces and bottling them themselves. And I'm like, so why am I not doing this? Because I know I've got kids that love spicy food, and we like to put hot sauce on something. So this is called Bishop's Crown pepper, so we'll try that and see how that goes this year. Let's see, what other peppers? And then, of course, you know what? As you know, I harvested a lot of loofah seeds last year, but now that I saw that there is loofah seeds available at Richter's, I thought, you know what? I'm going to order a package of their seeds and see how their loofah seeds do as well. Now, that's something that takes 5 months from the time you plant it to the time you harvest it, so it needs a long growing season, which we don't really have here. So you have to have a really warm location to grow loofah, and you have to have a good support system. Seriously, I grew this in my greenhouse last year, and it started climbing out the vents because the vents open in the summer. So of course on a hot day the vents are open, but then they close at night. So of course that was not so good for the vine because of course the vent would come down and close on it. But I had visions of harvesting loofah on the roof, and that would be crazy, right? So that's what I got from Richter's Seeds. What I really like, and I just received another package of seeds from Incredible Seeds, but what I noticed about the packaging is it's all paper. There's none of that plastic stuff, bubble wrap inside. So I kind of appreciate that because that's fully recyclable, and I'm hoping that other seed companies will go to something like this because that's great, right? I mean, I realize that, they could get damp and they don't usually get damp when you mail them, but they could, I guess, and I guess that's why they're protecting their seeds. But those bubble mailers, I don't know, that's just not in the right direction for us. So let's just take a quick look through here. There's another type of tomato here, pink bumblebee tomatoes. So I'm looking forward to growing those. I've heard from some of my friends up in the valley that these pink bumblebee tomatoes are really good. I take it they're cherry tomatoes, so I'm going to try that. I'm also going to be offering silvery fir tree tomatoes at my plant sale. Now, silvery fir tree tomatoes, they have a regular sized tomato, but they don't grow very tall. So I always call it like they go kind of funny. So they're not easy to stake. They kind of remind me of a toddler with arms all over the place and hard to kind of pen in. So it's an interesting plant to grow, but it has a delicious tomato. So that'll be fun. I'm also growing sweet aperitif tomatoes. So that's something new. As you know, I grow a lot of heirloom tomatoes. I have a lot that I've collected seed from for over the years. So I always grow it. Every year I grow something different. So the sale's never always the same. It depends on what seeds need to be grown out each year. So these are all new, and hopefully I can collect seeds from most of these. And then I'm going to try ground cherries this year. So ground cherries are something new for me as well. So, you know, I always say, you know what, you have to try something new each year. So you can see I'm trying a few things that are quite new this year, from the cumin to the cilantro to the ground cherries. So I've tasted these before. They're delicious. So I'll try that. It's just finding room for all that, right? And then I know one of my followers has requested that I grow red pear tomatoes. So Kay, if you're out there, I've got the red pear tomato seeds and I'll be offering those at my plant sale as well. So keep me posted. My plant sale is always on the first Saturday of May, and it's right at my home, and you can walk the garden and come and see it. And you know, if you need any questions about plants, I'm always here to chat with you. So that's not the end of my seed orders. I have one more seed order coming, and it's from, I think it's called Edgebrook Farms, and it's back east as well. They were so busy, their seeds have been delayed, so they've actually added extra things to my package. So we'll see what that happens, what comes. I can't even remember what I've ordered now. And I'm probably going to try and order some dahlias through them as well. Because they've got a good selection. They just haven't released them yet because it's pretty early in the season, especially if you live back east. But you know, if you're a gardener out here on the coast, the spring, it won't be long before it starts showing. The crocuses are all in bud and ready to open any day. So anyway, that's about it for today. I have been growing things in the greenhouse, so things you can plant now if you're starting inside is think about planting your cool season crops like your peas, your lettuce, kale. You can plant spinach. You can start all these seedlings inside because normally you can plant those out sometime in March. Now we're a bit soggy right now, so it's going to be a while. So think about that just this month when you're selecting your seeds, that you look for your cool season crops first. So these plants withstand cooler temperatures. You're not going to start your tomatoes yet because it's way too soon, way too early for a lot of warm season crops. You want to wait until at least the end of February, early March, because they only take 6 weeks to grow. So think about it. You know, another thing that I'm growing in the greenhouse right now, I call them cool season flowers because there's certain flowers that will tolerate cooler temperatures outside. So things like alyssum. So you can grow the purple or white alyssum or any kind of alyssum that you like to grow. It's a great pollinator. So I tend to plant alyssum in between my vegetables in my raised beds. And it's great for attracting the bees because you want pollination to happen in your garden, because without the bees, we wouldn't have food, right? So, and another thing you can start, you can think about starting snapdragons. They're very cold tolerant as well. And they're great to put in the garden early. As a matter of fact, most of you who've been following me know that I planted these planted snapdragons in the fall. I've got plants. They've been covered over the winter to protect them from frost and snow and things like that, but they're still green, and I expect to have some early blooms for bouquets by hopefully early April, you know, sometime in April. So, and that's usually just when most of us are starting to plant. So the only other plant that I have also sown in the greenhouse are cosmos. Now you can get cosmos in different kinds, and this is just purity. This is just your single petal cosmos. But you know what? You can get cosmos like Double Click and Snow Puff, and there's so many Rose Bonbon. They're very full cosmos, full flowers, multi-petaled, and they're just so stunning that why grow the ordinary ones? And what's great about cosmos is they're also loved by pollinating insects. So if you grow these in the garden, you're going to have bees coming to your garden and you know, helping to pollinate any of your food crops or your fruit trees. So it's a good thing to do. But you can plant these, you can start them by seed anytime this month and then pop them in garden in probably late April, or you can direct sow them in the garden in April. So it's up to you whether you want. I always like to have a few extra plants and tuck them here and there. Now don't forget, these are not good for containers this size. They grow to 3 to 4 feet and they will need some staking. So most cosmos need some kind of support. But anyway, that's about it for today. So I just thought I'd pop in and show you what I've got so far as seeds. I haven't started any of these. I won't be starting a lot of these seeds for a while yet, but it's kind of nice to just look through those seed catalogs and decide and plan your garden. So this is the time when you should be planning your garden, both vegetables and flowers, and ordering your seeds and just getting your equipment set up. So if you need to buy soil seed starter mix or soil or pots or anything like that, it's a good time to get that stuff ready. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.